All right, if everybody can hear me, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. It's been, other than the couple of little streams I did over the last few days, just playing Space Marine 2, it's been, what, 3 years? Something like that. The goal here is to bring the channel back, and now that we are in a semi-better place, we'll say, try to bring this part of my hobby back. I have down below, I plan to anyway, whenever I'm in a streaming chat with anybody on Discord, to have them there as we used to do so that you can see them. And I will kind of probably talk about why we've been going once I get started here. So what you see before you are all of the materials that I'm going to be using tonight to finish up, hopefully finish up these bases. And these are 3D printed bases. I got into 3D printing, something else I'll talk about. But that being said, this is a lot better to me than, for what I needed and looked for than what I tried to, or what I've made in the past. I have not been idle. I have put together every model that I have aside from my firstborn infantry, one Redemptor Dreadnought, my Horus Heresy box sets of Space Marines, although I did put the Spartan tanks together, and I put together a bunch of 3D printed, not, I didn't 3D print them, but a bunch of 3D printed Alpha Legion and things of that nature. I've made a bunch of, well, I've made a bunch of 3D printed stuff in the short month and a half that I have been doing 3D printing, and you will see if you go on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, some of the progress I've been doing. I also recently painted this guy. This guy is, and I'm going to call him done. We were contemplating some other things, but I just don't think it's worth it. Meaning whether or not I was going to do something with this shoulder blade. This guy is an out of print Rogue Trader Terminator Librarian that I've had for decades, and hopefully this shows up fairly well on the stream. But anyway, something compelled me to paint him, and I also had like some wire that went around him with hot glue that was on there to look like warp energy. But the more I looked at it, the more it took away from the model itself, and I didn't want to do that. So, taking some inspiration from Space Marine 2, or I'm sorry, the Secret Level Space Marine episode on Amazon, I made, which is what we're going to be focusing on tonight, I made these little, we'll call them chaos, essence or whatever that are coming out of the ground because of this Grey Knight librarian's presence. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this model. Obviously it's done. I'm going to be doing it for all of the, I believe there are 27 Rogue Trader out of print Grey Knights that I have. And I've already started on 9 of their base, or these bases are all complete as far as having the essence coming up. The essence has to be painted an oily black, as you saw on this model. And it's, I'm actually pretty surprised that after all this time I was able to actually get a decent paint job. The glow effects, that is not fluorescent paint either. This is all acrylic paint, and that's it. It's all acrylic paint. Oh, I take that back. There is one other thing I used, which was this. This is, if I can focus it, Daler Rowney acrylic ink, white. I used that as a base for a lot of the stuff, and then also to clean some things up. But as you can see with the librarian, where his head is and his eyes and all that, and then I lightened up some of the paint with, on the molten axe here with it as well. But the goal here was for a grim dark Terminator librarian, not a fancy shiny grim gray knight. And so we've done the same with these, and in order to get the various colors to show, because they were just dark, I used that ink underneath to give it a little bit of something to attach to make it not so dark. Now these, once they're painted black, I still have to go back over all this brown that you see. This is actually pigment, Vallejo pigment, and I have to go back over that again because I'm constantly touching things. Not as much as I was, but like you see this little like whitish area, that needs to be redone on the pigment. So, and to be completely honest with you, this is my first time ever using pigment dust, or whatever you call it. So we've got 9 of these done. We have 18 more to do. So we're using, if you want to get this effect or something similar, if it gives you an idea, we're using some 24 gauge galvanized steel wire. Depending on where you are in the world, I couldn't tell you what you would buy. I just bought it. It had nothing to do with name brand or anything like that. But it's, very pliable, as you can see. So basically you can bend it and it will stay where you want it. We, for our, and this is 250 feet, are supposedly 10 pounds, but either I'm super strong, or I don't know, or maybe they mean 10-pound test. I don't know. Doesn't give me a whole lot to go off of. But anyway, for our purposes, all we're going to be doing is snipping pieces off to make the essence that's going to grow or come out of the ground as these Grey Knight Terminators, move about. Now I have more Grey Knights that are the more, well, I have the first new batch of Grey Knights, and then the plastic Grey Knight Terminators, and then I've got some characters here and there, but I will not be doing this to them. At least right now, I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to go with just the base. And the only reason is I'm trying to bring some, something special to these really old models and break up just how old they really are, if that makes sense. So I think it'll work. I think it'll be unique to those squads, along with this librarian and an ancient that will go with them. And then the other guys can have, we'll just say that these guys are so ancient, if you will, that, they're whatever power, that manifests inside them or that they hold in abeyance, it's just that much stronger than your typical Grey Knight. At least that's what I'm going with in my head. We've got some zip kicker here, which is going to be instrumental in making this a speedy process, because to be honest with you, other than the painting of the base and stuff like that, hold on one second. Back. Sorry, I was saying goodnight to my kids. Anyway, the most tedious portions of this, as you can imagine, were doing the cracks inside here because you had to wait for things to dry, which when you have a bunch, you can batch paint and that works. And then, putting the pigment dust all over. Then the most tedious, which I've actually made pretty fast and that's the whole point of tonight's live stream, is to show you how I did this and how fast I can do it. Once you cut, I only cut about 3 different sizes. That's about it, and they're not very big at all. And once you do that, it's really just a matter of the method I'm going to show you as far as getting the glue on, getting the glue to form, which is, it's so simple. It's not even, sorry, I just hit my camera with my hat. Anyway, it's so simple. And then once those are done, or that portion's done, then attaching them to the base and so on and so on. Pardon me, I'm looking for something that I set down and apparently I misplaced it. Or maybe I was using it because it was right here. And it's something that I need. That is very odd that I did that. Well, I knew we were going to have something screw up on our first real comeback stream. Let me see if I can find it. I had moved some things out of the way, and I guess I accidentally must have brushed it away with my hand or something. Anyway, you're going to need a pair of tweezers, in my opinion, because it'll be the easiest way to do this because you're dealing with such a fine element. You're going to need a disposable brush that you can use for the zip kicker. And while there are many different glues out there, this glue, because it's a little bit thicker, i.e. gap filling, seems to work a little bit better for me than, say, this Bob Smith super thin, because I need it to kind of hold on to the wire, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I get around to it. And really that's all there is to it. So first thing we're going to do, which yes, it's tedious, is cutting our pieces. You can do this many different ways. When I say many different ways, what I mean by that is you can cut them all out together like I'm about to do, because I just felt like it went a lot faster and I didn't have to go in between, like stop what I was doing and do something else. And for those of you that are not new to the channel, you know how I basically do things. So yeah, so we're looking at 9 per, so we need 9 per 9, because I'm going to do it in sets of 9. Anyway, 9 of these per 9, and rather than sit here and try to count, do the math, whatever, 9 times 9, so forth and so on. The other thing that I'm contemplating doing is I'm just doing these 3, because if you take a look at this one, hopefully you can see it, you've got 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and then this lone one, right? So I'm just trying to put 3 on each one, and then I will probably go back at some point and put a single essence piece coming up just to break it up a little bit. Also, depending on how the model is, like how it's put together. So these old Rogue Trader models, for the most part, you could consider them monopose if you want. Right now they're soaking because there was some extra stuff on some of them that I got that needed to be stripped off. Some glue and stuff that I don't know why the person put the stuff on there, but or in those locations. But anyway, there won't always be this essence right in the front. So what'll probably end up happening, because he's kind of the star character, if you will, although many of you know I'm not really into characters, what'll probably end up happening is these guys will probably end up going on there in such a way that they have, you know, an open area here. But, you know, we'll see. I'm not trying to be too particular about that. So anyway, let's get to cutting. I'm doing about, I really don't even measure this, to be honest with you, but usually I don't have one that goes over, say, 3/8 at the most. But, you know, it's kind of eyeballing it. I'm not really, and I try to have one long one per group of 3. And then I'll have kind of a little bit more medium one or small one. And then I'll go smaller. Hence why we need the tweezers. I just realized my music wasn't on. So now it's on for you guys, and it won't just be blank space and me talking. I'm also trying to get used to having all this stuff in front of my face again. Alright. I think I'm going to move my light a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't change things too bad for everybody. We need one more. Oh no, there's one. Oops. Oh, of course. Oh, that's something I failed to mention. These tweezers, what are they called? Equate Men. I've had them forever, so I don't know if they're still around or not. But a happy coincidence, these seem to have some level of magnetic properties, so that I can literally just pick this stuff up. Whether that's good or bad, you know, you have to make that decision. I have no idea. For you, I mean. So, I said I was going to talk about why I have been gone. So, a couple of major things, and some of this I'll have to watch what I say because I'm still dealing with things. My family has been fighting a locality and neighbors that are against our business, our small family business, for 8.5 years. Even through the time that you guys have watched in the past. I also was going to college, and I graduated in 2024. So there was, and that was full-time all year long. So there was a lot going on. And then of course, as you know from the past, we had, you know, we've had 2 small children, and we are homeschooling as well. But the main bulk of what has been a problem for us has been this horrible attack on our family, litigation wise, even to a point where I was outright accused of things I didn't even do. That cost us a lot of money in court, and when I say accused, I mean criminally. Initially, well, let me put it this way before I go any further. I learned real hard and fast that while we may have the best here in the US, may have the best so-called, or as people say, the best justice system in the world, we don't really have a justice system. I have learned that the very people that I held in high esteem, you know, are not good people. They are just people that have these jobs, and they are the worst tribalistic, brainwashed people I've ever met in my life. Because once they've decided that they're against you, there's no changing their mind whatsoever, even if you have literal proof in front of you. As a matter of fact, as we recently learned, just how unprofessional folks can be, when it was proven that what they were saying was incorrect, their response, like a small child, was, well, we didn't know. But yet these are the same people that have the ability to ruin people's lives financially, and then of course, you know, other people that will turn around and do things that can cost you other things, or other hardships. And then of course in the court system itself, the dishonesty, the game playing, so forth and so on, that, you know, again, could cost somebody their freedom. And if it wasn't for a jury of my peers, and more importantly, my intestinal fortitude to fight against injustice, I would have had a criminal conviction for something I didn't even do. Even for a charge that didn't even exist. It was completely made up. And what I am going to say is not defamation, because it's in literal documented format by the actual investigative officer that charged me. It's okay apparently for people, law enforcement specifically, to lie to secure warrants. One of those being, what this charge was accessory before the fact, reckless handling of a firearm. It's not even a charge. Accessory before the fact is actually pertains to a felony type charge, which I was not charged with. I was charged with a class 1 misdemeanor for something, again, I didn't do. But because, by the investigator's words, I was the owner of my shooting range, and supposedly, even though they were unable to prove this, even while they had video and photographic evidence, they were unable to prove that shotgun shot came off of my property for the sporting clays that we have here. And back to that statement of what the investigator from the Virginia State Police used, is he claims, you're going to love this, that he could see the shot landing on the ground. Now, to give you context, nothing is shot out here that's, for those of you that know anything about shotguns or hunting birds or anything like that, that is over 7.5 shot. Ounce and an eighth. What that tells you is that each BB that is fired is 0.0009 inches in diameter, flying through the woods. Notice I said woods, meaning a darkened environment. And this guy claims he saw it landing. He claims that Sorry, I'm trying to measure something here. He claims that, well, his story changed a couple of times. First it was that the shot hit a tree branch above his head. Then it was that it hit him. Now, he was very careful in the trial, well, both trials, or he tried to be in the second one, but I'll get to that in a minute. He was very careful in the first trial to not say much, because it was a bench trial. Pretty much they had it in the bag because, you know, as I did my research on the judge, what a character, let me tell you. Went after a guy, literally went after a guy, using his station, if you will, as a judge to secure an arrest for trespassing with his neighbor over 15 feet of grass that the guy would cut, claiming that the guy was cutting, you know, cutting his grass, if you will. A strip of 15 feet by, I believe, 2 feet. What ended up happening is the charges were dismissed, and then the guy turned around and sued that judge, and then there was a settlement that was, you know, everything was undisclosed. But everything we have come to know from people that know who this person is do not have a favorable opinion of him. This guy, even to the point when I told me, well, let me tell you what I was guilty of, or how he found me guilty. And I quote, "Because something happened." Let that sink in. Because something happened. Now again, this is all in the transcript. It's all, you know, court recorder. This isn't me saying anything. And that's the thing, you know, I'm kind of venting here, but, you know, there are some things I have to pay attention to what I say because I'm still in litigation. Now, I'm not with criminal because I appealed it after he told me I could appeal it. And I want to put something else in context for you. I'm now 52 years old. At the time, I was 50. I had never been in trouble with the law. Ever. Not once. Not even so much as a friggin' parking ticket. And now, I was facing up to a year in jail, away from my wife and kids, all because of people that can lie, get away with it. And a guy that, you know, is a former prosecutor, a licensed attorney, and is a neighbor, and is, you know, got a heartache about the range, and has been leading the charge to get this place shut down. We've got recordings, we've got everything, and the guy, because he's an attorney and whatnot, he knows the game. He knows that he can lie in court and that almost no one will try to perjure or charge him for perjury because the state just doesn't do that. That's words straight from a special prosecutor. So, going back to the whole idea of, you know, the justice system not being what I thought it was. Alright, anyway, pivoting off of that, and I'll come back to it. We're going to talk about the method here. We're now done cutting, as you can see. So what I've been doing is I pour a little bit of this zip kicker in the cap. And I set this off to the side pretty far so I'm not sniffing it, right? Other than, you know, it might be here. If you want to wear something, that's fine. It's up to you. Then I take a little bit of glue, put it on my mat. If you've got something else you want to use, right on, but I don't. And I don't really care about it. So, then, what we're doing is we're trying to form the droplet, if you will, that is on the tip of, and I don't expect this to show very well, but we're trying to form the droplet that, you know, is right there. And the way that I do this is I dip this in the glue like that so that it's and it's hanging down, and I go straight in the zip kicker. And it takes like no time at all. It's done. And like any batch type process, that's all we're doing. So while I do this, I will go back to the story. So anyway, judge tells me I can appeal. So I do, right then and there. I go straight over, appeal. Well, apparently that upset him. And as I've learned as of late, judges, especially in Virginia, do not like when people appeal. Even though it's your right, okay? Even though it's your right. Because they don't want to be told they're wrong. Well, or, find out that they're wrong or have their ruling overturned. That's not how America or really any system is supposed to work. Excuse me. So anyway, the next day I get called by my attorney, and he says that the judge is very angry that I appealed, and that I have to go in and pay $1,000 cash bond, $1,000 in US dollars, cash. He goes to say I had to run around like a chicken with my head cut off to get that money in cash. But I did. Otherwise, I would have went to jail. And, I'm not a murderer. I'm not a, felon or anything like that. But that's the power that these clowns have. And that's exactly what they are. And let me tell you why I feel this way now. I've also learned as of late that when it comes to attorneys, this state, for instance, this state is roughly 1,200 attorneys shy of what it needs to just fulfill the job of being an attorney for court-appointed attorneys for people that cannot afford an attorney, and they have to do that job. Not only that, the Court of Appeals process has a 2-year backlog. Well, you know where that 2-year backlog lies? That 2-year backlog lies at the desk or the dais of the judges because of their, ridiculous rulings or unfair rulings or what have you. And that's not how any of this is supposed to be. So, anyway, I appealed it. It's different for what I was talking. I mean, for the criminal appeal, it wasn't that long, obviously, but it did take some time. Had to get a new attorney, all this other kind of stuff. And because my attorney was having some health issues. Coincidentally, the other attorney also. But, at the time, not as bad. So we go to the circuit court because, now we're going to have a jury trial. And I want to tell you how the first hearing went because it still baffles me to this day. We sat in there, the judge comes out and all this, and he goes, are you aware? I mean, I stood up, he called my name and I stood up, and he said, are you aware that you could get a harsher sentence? And we don't really do this kind of stuff in here. In other words, he was trying to convince me to revoke my appeal and just take my sentence for the other judge. Okay? I told the judge I was not aware of the stricter sentence, but I was not guilty. And I'm not. And I wasn't. And he said, okay. Well, then they get into some argument, about between my attorney and the other one, the prosecutor, And they knew they didn't have a case. They were able to get away with stuff in the bench trial because there's a lot more that they can, do there. Such as, and I'm going to throw this out there, ex parte communications between the judge and the investigator in his chambers by themselves. That's not legal, but they got away with it for now. And good luck trying to say it never happened, because I mean, my gosh, there's 7 people that know all about it. Anyway, if you guys notice, this takes like no time, like when you dip it in there. Anyway, they started arguing about, things or whatever, law stuff. And it got to the point of, the crux of the matter with the shot and all that. And the judge stands up. Now, I want to say something. If you've ever been in a leadership position like I have, one of the things you don't do, if you don't know something, you don't sit there and tell everybody else you don't know it. It doesn't mean that you as a leader are supposed to know everything. But the last thing you do is destroy the confidence of all those underneath you or involved with you by saying you don't know it when you are the ultimate decision maker. Unless you are, say, with, a team that you work with all the time, you're close like I was, not to strangers, okay? And what the judge said was, well, I don't really know anything about guns. Okay, well, this case is all about guns. And you're going to say that to everyone? It's absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, we ended up getting a jury trial and all this stuff, and then we go to court, and this time I did not testify. There was really no point. I've said all I had to say. I learned a lot about, how things work, and essentially it's a whole new trial. It does not matter what was said, which is kind of bad, unless you countermand your testimony. Or at least that's how it's supposed to be, because clearly the witnesses for the prosecution couldn't keep their story straight. And again, it's all on transcript. So, anyway, I do love this magnetized tweezers. It's kind of cool. I definitely didn't know they were magnetized or magnetic or whatever, when I bought them years ago. But anyway, I'm getting the jury trial. It's an all-day affair, and there's a point where I think pretty much the jury knew that just about, well, I think that they knew that all the witnesses were lying, and I think they knew that all the witnesses also lacked I don't know, they just lacked a certain sense of bearing and everything else. But the key witness was going to be that investigator. And he was not ready, let me tell you. Because my attorney made him look like a complete fool. And really, he made himself look like the complete fool. How did he do this? And this will give you the mindset of Virginia law enforcement. Or Virginia State Patrol, we'll put it that way. First off, let me tell you something. There's a policy that the Virginia State Patrol has that literally states and reaffirms fair and equal treatment under the law. Okay? Just like the judicial system is supposed to. None of this has happened for me in all of these years. Not once. Anyway, what the guy didn't do is he never interviewed me, never even stepped foot on my property, just went with the complaint and everything that was told to him by my neighbor, again, who's a former prosecutor. So, that whole, if you want to say good old boy network, or, the fact that, they're all in the same, whatever. And I want to make this clear. I have many friends that are in law enforcement or were, and they'll be the first ones to tell you these people did it wrong, they're corrupt, and they should not be holding these positions, especially this investigator. Remember, he lied about seeing something that no one could see with the naked eye flying through the air. It's not possible. Anyway, My attorney asks him, he says, what are the 4 firearm safety rules? Now, there are 5 if you're a Marine or in the military, but, you know, it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. And he said, would before you answer, would you agree that the first one is to treat every weapon as if it were loaded? And he agreed. He said, yes, I would. He goes, okay. Well, would you agree that the second one is to keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire? He agreed. He said, would you agree that the third one, notice they missed the trigger finger, but that's okay. Would you agree that I mean, this is the order he gave, by the way, not the order we use. Would you agree? Wait, he said something else before that. I don't know. Anyway, the part that really matters is the very last one, where he says, would you agree that the last firearm safety rule is to know your target and what's beyond it? And he said, yes, I would. He goes, then why would the responsibility be on me? And of course, the only answer that the trooper could give was that I was the range owner. But that's not the firearm safety rule, is it? You, as the person shooting the firearm, are responsible for your own actions. But again, to be clear, I said earlier they had no proof it came from my range. They had video of supposed hold on a second. Video of sound supposedly shot coming in to his position. Now I want you to think about something here. How did the trooper know where to be in the woods to know where this was supposedly happening? That's supposedly happening every time a person shoots, when people are shooting at moving targets, but supposedly the shot is landing there in the same spot at every time. Anyway, let's get away from that, because I'm sure every one of you have deduced that that's impossible and that this is a setup. But regardless, my attorney asked him, he said, did you ever go over and talk to my client? And he said no. And he goes, well, did you see my client? I'm leaving my name out, obviously. Did you see my client at any time on this particular side? No, I did not. Did you see him with a shotgun at all that day? No, I did not. Okay, let's go over to the other property. Did you see my client over there? No, I did not. Okay, so, and it didn't occur to you to go onto the range and talk to my client? No, I did not go over there. Did you talk to any of the shooters when they came off the range? No, I did not. You didn't interview anyone? No, I did not. Well, don't you think it would have been fair to my client? This goes back to the policy, by the way, of fair and equal treatment under the law. To my client to go talk to him and say, hey, this is happening. This is, and then sort it out. This was the straw that broke the camel's back for me with having any trust, faith, or confidence in law enforcement, especially investigators. This guy's response, I think, is what killed their case for them, regardless of all the evidence they were not able to prove beyond an unreasonable doubt. He said, I don't factor fairness into my investigations. Let that sink in. I don't factor fairness into my investigation. So basically what you're saying is that you're willing to do what they're doing right now in other countries, where a person can make a complaint that may or may not have any merit in it whatsoever, and you're just going to automatically charge the person because of things you can't even see. And then you want to turn around and tell people, well, yeah, I saw shooters. but you don't have any video or photo, and your excuse is, oh, well, my camera couldn't zoom in that far. Anyone listening to this right now has got to be scoffing at that, knowing what our camera phones are like and what an investigator would have been provided with, let alone the fact that the breadth of distance between where he was on one property where he could have seen somebody to the other property is only roughly 400 yards. Where he would have seen those people was about 190 yards. And you're going to tell me that any phone camera we have today can't see that? You're full of it. You didn't know what you were doing. You didn't have good investigative skills or instincts. He also came by himself. But here's something else. The complainant, the main complainant, the former prosecutor, okay, and again, all of this is in transcript. It's all in their statement. This is not defamation. He left the investigator's position when the investigator was on his property to, quote, go and see and tell the investigator when the shooters were going to shoot. If you know anything about a shotgun, you know it's loud, especially inside of 200 yards. Why on earth would the investigator need you to tell him when they were going to shoot? Not only that, you're out of sight of the investigator for 45 minutes. You're out of sight. The investigator can't see the shooters because he's 216 yards away through the woods. And then they had a private investigator there as well, sitting with the trooper on that side. When everything was done on that side and they were going to go to the other property, the private investigator has to leave all of a sudden. And then when they get to the other side, you want to know who's waiting in the woods for him? That tried to claim that he didn't know that the trooper was coming out? The county zoning administrator is sitting in there in the woods, all the way up there, all on his own. We have a system that will do everything it can to protect itself, to protect the perception of right and just. And that is not what my family and I have been dealing with for the past years that I've been gone. It's gotten that bad. And we're in litigation right now. I have defamation cases against that neighbor. I have, because of things that they said, publicly, that are all on video on YouTube, thanks to the county. Everything from questioning, not the neighbors, but the county board of zoning questioning my religion, my faith, in an effort to get me to do things that the neighbors want. And I want to be clear, this shooting range has been here since 1992. It's grandfathered in, that's why I bought it. And all of these people moved to the nuisance as the law is concerned. But I've learned something else. Most attorneys want nothing to do with this county because they know how corrupt it is. And this is the worst part, the worst thing I ever discovered. That a judge, at least in this state, I'm assuming everywhere else, has the authority to remove an attorney's ability to practice in an area. Why is this a problem? Because if he doesn't like that attorney because the attorney's calling him out on his BS or whatever, he can tell that guy, you're not allowed to practice in my county anymore. What's the main problem with that? You have now just effectively removed any opposition to you and representation for people in this county of, honest attorneys that are willing to fight for their clients as they're supposed to in duty bound. just because your feelings got hurt. And why is all of this, you know, why do I know all this, or why am I paying attention to most of this? Because I've actually got a vehicle, if you will, to go to law school if I want to. I haven't decided yet because I don't know that I would become a licensed attorney, especially here. It's not, I would be in a better position than most, where I would not need the career of being an attorney. I would not be walking into a courtroom worried that I'm going to upset some judge and now I've lost my career and I owe all this money to college or college loans and stuff. Whether you believe in God or not, it's a calling that I have, but it's also a calling, or it's something that I'm constantly warring with if I'm supposed to do it or if I'm just coming up with this because I am angry about the whole situation. So I've been warring with myself on that. So, put a little bit. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been dealing with for years now. And we're in another zoning dispute with the county. I'm confident they're going to lose unless the judge is completely corrupt. And mind you, our previous zoning dispute we had shortly after we moved here, we won. It went to the state Supreme Court because the county appealed it to them. They lost twice, but they'll sit here and tell the citizens of this county that, you know, that's not the case. They just didn't hear it. I was there. I listened to the whole thing all day long, waiting for our case to come up. Their attorney briefed for 7.5 minutes, where all the other cases briefed 20-25 minutes. The other judges, or the judges on the panel, asked 10 questions each of the other attorneys for all the other cases. They asked the county's attorney not one question. There's no case here, but it's a asymmetrical, multi-pronged attack. The goal is not just to get the courts to say no. The goal is also, even if the courts side with me, to make it for, you know, if we bring it back to the hobby, think of Chapter House Studios and Games Workshop. They won, but it cost them everything. And that's what they're trying to do here. 1,000 cuts, right? So anyway, that's what's been going on. And that's like super negative. I get it, but it's what it is. All right, so now I'm gonna get off of that and we're gonna get back to hopefully some fun stuff here. Well, I mean, this isn't necessarily fun, but and of course, you know, if anybody jumps into chat and has any questions, by all means, you know, same as always, or as you may remember. And I want to apologize if you guys see me gaming, especially Space Marine 2, and you chat and I don't see it. Man, I'm old, okay? I'm trying to juggle killing Tyranids and whatnot with looking over at the other screen. Alright, so now this is where that old brush comes into play. All I'm going to do is take a little bit of this, and I just go around the whole edge, only because if you get distracted by something or you decide to change your mind on the placement, you'll have it all covered. And now it's just be random, man. Like, don't even, I don't even really think about it. Like, if I end up with 2 of these long ones next to each other, so what? Who cares? But because I put that stuff down, I stick this on there, bam, stuck. Right? Now you got to be careful, okay? It's only on there enough to hold it up straight up and down. We're going to go back, as you probably guessed, and put some more glue around the base. And I'm not, if you notice, I'm not doing these in a straight line. I'm doing them, see, like that, if that makes sense to you. Kind of like a triangle shape, if you feel like doing that. If you don't, then, you know, don't. But I feel like that's a little more, dare I say, natural for this stuff coming up out of the ground. Now, if you run into a situation like where I did right there, where it popped off and it's a little weak, you can always go back and put a little more glue on. But I'm not picking any place in particular. I'm just doing it. But I do try to have one of the big ones at each location, at least one, or tall ones, I mean. Once you have the reinforced glue on there, they'll be a little easier to bend and you won't have to worry about them breaking off. But I'm actually pretty happy about that this popped in my head, because it definitely gives it some character with, oh my gosh, without taking away from the model itself, which was the biggest problem I had. If you run into a situation like right here where I have two long ones, you definitely probably want to look for a short one at that point to put, you know, just kind of off camber, for lack of a better word. Not in a triangle, but just, you know, off to the side so that you can, you know, it looks a little different. And that one is done until, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I usually waited until the end. That's how I did it on those, but there's no point since I want to show you. And again, this thicker glue doesn't run as fast. So you get a little bit of, dare I say, working with it. And then, other than painting that black, or oily black, that one is done. And now you guys can leave the stream if you want. Oh, I forgot to put the juice on. I'll go back and do the rest in a second. And I appreciate everybody's patience with me getting back into this video stuff. But I will definitely be painting on the channel, I can tell you that. I am super excited about that. And I'll be honest with you, when I started doing those over there, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. But it really didn't. Not in the length that I thought it was going to take. Excuse me. And you don't have to have them right on the edge either. That's something else I did, was I kind of brought some closer in, but I'm taking a little bit of a risk here, because the way that those models are, they're going to have to be positioned in such a way that, or I'm sorry, the way these things are and the way the models are, these might be in the way of their weapons or something like that. But I think I cut them low enough about knee height that that won't be an issue. So, I hope. Another thing I do, crap, I'm doing this off screen, sorry. Another thing that I do is I kind of run the glue a little bit on the stem of whichever one I can get close to let it run down, because you can get sometimes you can get, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but you can get a little bit of a oh gosh, where's my razor blade? You can get a little bit of like a stringing effect that looks pretty cool between the two. I also kind of fan this out some. Just realized that I've been doing a lot of this in the camera. Man, I'm really sorry about that. We're getting back into it. And I like leaving him there just as kind of a motivational thing. Kind of lets me know what we're aspiring to do and what the end product will look like. In case you run into, man, I did it again. In case you run into a fit of doubt. Let me see if I can zoom this in for you guys. So you can. I'm just starting to think about all this stuff. Like, wow, you could have done that. You could have done that. I guess I was hoping or thinking you guys needed to see everything. But I am actually excited to paint now. So, especially having seen what this old model was able to look like. And I do have a friend he's unable to talk, but he's in chat listening to all this rambling because I'm on somebody else's streaming chat in Discord and they all left. It's time for them to go to bed. His name is Kitten Gallus. fellow cyberpunk player. He said sleeping is for the weak. Sleep when you're dead. But as you guys can see, this is not a hard process. It's not even that time consuming. I'm just turning this over to get the glue to move where I want it to. Alright, cool. That's pretty much that, he says. I said sleep when you're dead. But this librarian is going to be the color scheme basically for all the Grey Knights of the Rogue Trader stuff. I mean, they're all going to be that relative color scheme, but definitely the whole grimdark aspect. I don't want shiny models on the table. I don't like looking at it. Can't see the details or anything. Hopefully the background music is working too. I can see it going up and down on my OBS, but I don't have it where I can hear it. Definitely working. I just don't want to get dual feedback. Let's see if you would even hear that. I don't think you guys will hear that from the speaker, so that's good. I guess I'll find out when I go back and look at this stream. And I guess it's at 1 hour and 9 minutes, so if I can remember that. That way I can at least listen to something. If you get a puddle like this, that's why I have the razor blade. I just kind of fan it out like that, like it's, you know, some kind of other stuff coming up.
Ah, do it again. Put the glue on now because this one seems a little fragile. There we go. I'm going to try to get a schedule, guys. But you know, it's a little hard to do sometimes because I know that Twitch wants it. YouTube doesn't really ask for it. I know you guys that do watch this stuff may prefer that. I would like to stream during the day, but I think that for quite a few of you, my day is your night, or you're asleep. This one's being a turd. And for those of you that are new, one of the other main reasons that I'm doing any of this is so that it's cataloged for my kids. In case something ever happens to me, they have something about their daddy. I have no delusions of grandeur. I'm going to be YouTube famous or Twitch famous or whatever, but this one wants to be a pain right now. So let's add a little more there. Whoops, one of the small drawbacks to the magnet tweezers is sometimes like that, as you saw. If it doesn't stick, it'll pull. But back out. Francois Marion, I see you. I don't know what the, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know what the crown means. Gallus, do you know what that means on Twitch? It's like a white crown on a purple black background. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my gosh. This one wants to be a pain in my butt. Gallus and Dark say if he would be back. Just out of curiosity. Oh, something about using Prime. So they're a Twitch Prime user. That's cool. I don't know what little 07 means. I'm assuming it's some kind of emoji. Oh, he went for a nap. Oh, he probably won't get back up. when you paint this black, you won't have to worry about like if you go past the glue mark, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't to me. Oh, it's a salute. Okay. Right on. Oh, he said it. I see it. Thank you, Francois. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. A head and arm. Got it. You said hi to me on one of my other streams when I was playing, but I don't think you were around when I said hello back. I can't remember. Got to get into the habit of doing what I'm doing and looking up. Francois. Got it. Francois, is the music too loud? Is it just right? My voice, all that stuff. How's it sound to you? Are you even able to hear it? There's another guy I need to say hi to. That's on Twitter. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find his. Where is it? 1 second, Francois. His name is. Why is Twitch not showing me? What the heck, Twitch? What the heck, Twitch? What the heck? I could be a little louder. Oh, yeah. I guess I could just bring the mic over more. I had it out of the way because I thought I was going to be too loud. Where is the guy? I don't see him on here now. I don't think he got rid of his channel. Anyway, Francois, these bases are for Grey Knights. Let's see here. Because you're just getting in. This is, you probably know this. This is an out of print Terminator Librarian that I recently painted, kind of grim dark style, all acrylic paint, no fluorescence, and this is a 3D printed base, 40mm, and then I had the idea to use like the secret level. You can always tell me about the sound, but yeah, it's hard because I got all this stuff in front of my face. The phone, that's the camera, the light, this, yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, if you remember the secret level Space Marine episode on Amazon, if you saw that, when the Chaos Essence, I'll call it, who knows what it's called, was coming up out of the ground, when they were getting closer to the Tzeentch statue and area, that's what that's basically what I'm doing here. And showing the method in which I did it so that it's not too much of a pain for most people if they wanted to copy it. So once these, I have these 3, and then I have 9 more that I will do in this manner. And all of these will have the old out of print Rogue Trader Grey Knights on them to go with this librarian. I have 26 or 27 of them, I forget. And then I'm contemplating trying to find a way to add an old Turtle Terminator Marine to this group. But I haven't I haven't painted in so long. Oh, that reminds me, I'm supposed to talk to you guys about my printing. Yeah, so a month and a half ago, I got a 3D printer as an early birthday present from my wife. FDM Bamboo A1 or Bamboo Labs A1 printer. And I have been going crazy with this thing. Like right now, I'm literally making an entire urban battlefield with giant ass collapsed buildings. That's gonna be awesome. I used to have one. It was 8 foot by 16 foot, but, and I'm not, ashamed to admit this or anything or whatever, talk about it. My ex-wife back in the day, after I found out she was not being faithful, showed it all to her. When I had to go to work the next day, she broke all of my Warhammer stuff. So now, after all these decades later, I'm finally getting back to repairing everything. How's the saying go? Bitches be crazy. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't do resin right now because I got little ones and I just don't really have a place to do it. But I've got friends that can resin print, and they're doing stuff for me. So, and I like supporting them too. And I got these bases for free off of the Bamboo Studios Maker Lab, I think it's called. Oops. I'm not a big fan of transfers. I like to freehand paint the symbols and stuff too, but there's just something about, like, having a 3-dimensional icon that just really looks good on the minis to me. But I'm looking forward to getting these bases done so I can turn around and start painting those other Terminators. They're being stripped right now in a sonic bath. What did you say? Took me weeks to find Dark Angel pads for all armor types that I like. Oh yeah, well, that's how I am with salamanders. Haven't really found what I want, but I got a friend that's printing them for me. They're the best that I've seen, I'll put it that way. Anything else I probably would have to try to make myself, and I don't really know how to do that yet. If you have a closet that shares a wall with the outdoors, it's easy to port a vent for. Unfortunately I don't, and all of this is done downstairs in the basement, and the walls are brick, So it would be a pretty monumental task to do that. And then of course to clean up and keep them, you know, when I'm down there, you know, the wife and kids come down and check on me, as my daughter says, and it's just, you know, she likes to run right over to the freaking printer. That's all I need, is for her to be near any fumes or anything. And I've got some lung issues myself too, that I'm not quite ready to go down that path yet, even with a respirator. Stuff I've been exposed to overseas and stuff. Boy, this one's being a pain in the ass. Well, you're gonna stick there though, huh? You punk. And to be fair, the only reason I'm even doing it on these mats is I'm due for some new ones anyway. So, whoa. Got a little crazy with the glue there. Crazy with the cheese whiz, for those of you that are musically inclined. That would be the Presidents of the United States of America band. Oh my goodness. Of course you did. God. Right when I was in the process of securing you for that very reason. Slipped right out of my hand. Wow. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And there you have it. Angry Badger Mini bloopers. Wow. Dick. Basement, do you have a dryer exhaust pipe you can plug into that? They make inline dryer exhaust fans you can install anywhere along the dryer. I do, but it's not, I mean, it's probably, there would be nowhere for me to put the printer near it, and it would be at least, I want to say at least 60 feet before I could get to the pipe, the dryer pipe. But that's a good idea. I did not think of that. I'm actually gonna have to take a look at that, see if there's something I can work out. But I mean, I've got so much stuff, dude. I don't know, Francois, if you've ever seen my Angry Badger Minis as a tourist video on YouTube. But if you ever get a chance to go see that, I've since put together a ton more, but you'll be able to see what I'm dealing with. Dryer exhaust pipe, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. That's pretty good. And it's just fumes though, right? Like nothing collects in the pipe, is that correct? Like there's no residue or anything? Alright. just the live shows? Huh? I don't understand. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I get it. I get what you're saying. Well, that one was live, actually. It was like 4.5 hours long. Because it's me and my friends on there. I was showing them my collection. I mean, they're friends that I've never met in person, but like Gallus here, but they're cool people. Just fumes, so you'll want the inline dryer exhaust fan to make sure it goes out and does leach up through the dryer. Doesn't, I'm sure you meant not leach up through the dryer itself. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. So let's see here. So in about an hour and 40 minutes, we got everything cut and everything glued on. Or the essence is made and then glued on. That's pretty good. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. Sweet. Nine left. Oh boy. Well, that one on, I'm assuming you mean you've only watched the live shows on here on Twitch. That one's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Same thing, Angry Badger Minis, and just look for tourists or Angry Badger as a tourist. The reason I made that video is I got called a tourist in the hobby, and it just really made us all laugh. Let's see, I don't need this. All right, let's keep cutting. Oh, what prompted the tourist thing. I think I didn't have anything pinned at the time on Twitter, and as far as my hobby goes, and we were arguing about something about the hobby. I forget, it's been a long time ago, but that's the go-to response, you know, for a lot of these folks, especially in what they call Warhammer. And apparently I'm a chud. I'm a tourist. I don't paint minis. Don't have any minis. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was ridiculous. Hello there, Vincent. How are you this evening? I'm curious how you guys found me, because I'm not real good with the tags, I don't think. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to painting those Grey Knights. It's a lot of them though. Oh, YouTube recommended. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot, guys. I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm looking at my OBS screen apparently, and for some reason I thought I was looking at the Twitter or Twitch screen. So you guys are all on, and Jonathan, you guys are all on YouTube, because it says right there YouTube chat, and oh my gosh, man. Probably said something racist. I don't know about that. Who knows? And hello, Jonathan. Yep, that's kind of how I am. I just now getting back to it. If you bother or feel like bothering, you can go back and listen to the whole reason why I've been gone, but that's probably not necessary. I just was venting, rambling. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. But for those of you that are showing up, we're doing the bases for some out of print Rogue Trader Grey Knights. This is not one. This is a Terminator Librarian from the Rogue Trader era. But I'm doing the bases for them so that when I start painting them, they're all ready. I just painted this guy about a week ago or so. And I'm showing the method in which I did this. And these are my last 9 bases that I need to do like this, at least for now. Orcs in the Shire comment. I am looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you, the last Total War game I ever played, and I will apologize. Thank you, Jonathan. It's been years since I've painted. I'm actually pretty happy with it, for being away from it for so long. And it's hard to paint these metal models. They've got some texture you just can't get around. Like, your brush, you know, does its own thing. But back to the 40K thing, or Total War. The last one I played was in, oh my gosh, I think it was a Rome one. No, it was something to do with Chinese warlords, I forget, and I believe it was back in 2009. And then I just never, I don't know, it wasn't that fun, I guess, maybe. And so I'm hoping, like, I'll tell you straight up, like, if you take a look at, like, for instance, Dawn of War 3, which everybody hates, or most people do anyway, myself included, I don't like when the screen is full of circles, you know, colored circles and all this other crap. You know, you're taking away from the models, if you will, or the, you know, the characters in the game. And I don't want to see all that crap, you know. Now, if it was thematic, like, you know, you had flags and stuff, like, you know, historical, you know, stuff, that's different. Yeah, the OG Rome, yes, absolutely. But I can't, dude. It's so I have all of the Total War Warhammer fantasy stuff because it was on sale and a friend of mine convinced me to get it, and he loves it. I don't. As a matter of fact, the best, which I was able to get again, the best Warhammer fantasy game similar to that was that I enjoyed was Mark of Chaos, I believe it was called. And they had Skaven Chaos. You got to pick, you know, which deity, like, right in the beginning. You know, of course I picked Nurgle because, you know, I love Nurgle. But that didn't sound right, did it? Anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, I honestly thought this was going to take longer, but I'm glad it's not. I haven't seen the specs. Do you know what they are, like graphics card wise and stuff? I hope it's, I mean, because I just got a new graphics card. I hope it's not, well, last year anyway. I have a 5070 RTX. I hope it's not, Empire's still one of my faves, so 40K Total War is pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, just from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to be really cool. And I like the idea of going from planet to planet, but, you know, I'm sure they're going to nickel and dime us to death when it comes to the various, you know, factions. Like they did with Total War Fantasy. But, I mean, they got to make money too, so it's kind of hard to, you know, hate that. Plus, with the way people are so fickle, you know, if you don't give them new content for the game, they're, you know, they play and then they don't come back, and yeah, I get it. A 5090 this week. Yeah, well, I don't think I'm gonna. I think my 70 will be fine. I hope so. I'll wait and see, but I mean, Total War's not going to be out for what, another year at least. And then Dawn of War 4 comes out in September, I think. I think. Don't quote me on that one. I'm looking forward to that one too, but I'm just hoping they keep the femtoads out. Femtoadies. Still upset at GW over John Blanche. Well, a lot of things. John Blanche, Steel Legion, all of it. I'm like, man, you guys, you're just trying to gaslight people. But, you know, even bad press is good press, or good PR for advertisement. All right. Let's do this like Buddhists, because we ain't new to this. Got that. Pour a little bit more in here. Set that away. Yep. I was really heavy into the mobile game Tacticus until they put, as soon as they put the femtoads in there, I was out. I literally stopped playing. And I don't care what anybody has to say about it. You're ruining my fucking hobby. You're ruining the IP. I ain't got time for the fucking Mike Brooks and those clowns. Ain't got time for it. I must have spilled some stuff on here because let me make a different pile. I don't think that's enough on there. So I'm using Zip Kicker in its cap, a little bit of Bob Smith Industries gap filling glue so it doesn't run as fast, to make the Essence teardrop at the end of the wire. And it takes no time to do, really. And these are magnetized tweezers that I bought years ago, not knowing they were magnetized. But they actually work pretty good. I'm also hoping they don't ruin Dawn of War 4. But I'm kind of worried because apparently those guys saw the need in a couple of their videos or streams that they had to have the pride flag in the background. Like that was relevant or something. Got nothing against gay people, but as Gallus knows, but it's just ridiculous. Yeah, Mark of Chaos was awesome. I also like the cinematic, dude. I mean that. Dang, I just forgot what he was called, but when they were in the woods, old boy got wrecked by Chaos, and of course a wood elf had to come save him, but can't remember what that guy was called. What he was more than just a preacher, it's something else. Oh, I just realized something. I forgot to tell everybody what the outcome was of the appeal. I was found innocent. Obviously. That's why they didn't want a jury to begin with. In my opinion, inclusivity is awesome, but forced inclusivity is cringe and doesn't work. Agreed. Agreed. And stay away from the kids. Somebody wants to change their life or whatever, however you want to say that, let them do it when they're adults. Leave the politics out of the schools. Leave the kids alone. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. Showing my age. 52 this year. So what are you working on, Jonathan? Ooh, yeah, that's. I abhor that piece, but I get it. I get the struggle. hard to imagine that back in the day, what, got like 4,000 of Dark Angels over here. Yep. Well, like I was telling Francois, if you ever get bored, check out my live stream video. It's a few years ago. It says Angry Badger Minis is a tourist, and you can see what I'm dealing with. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. You can see, I mean, I've put a ton together since then, but just not on camera, and nothing of note like how it used to be. Where, dude, one of my most popular videos that I get comments on is Magnus putting his head together. Milliput works pretty well. Actually, I saw a short on someone doing that. Works great. That's the one thing about these bases. I would have to drill into them to magnetize them. But I'm not a big, like, I'm a Salamanders fan. Not a big Grey Knight fan. I only bought them because I thought it would be cool to have the Grey Knights fighting Bloodletters and stuff like that. Of course, I bought them forever ago, and they're really cool out of print models. I'm gonna have to let you sit for a second. I did that wrong. I still have some old stuff I collected and played with friends back in like 06 time frame. Right on. I haven't played a game, an actual game, in so long. I think the last actual game I played was the one battle report that I have on my channel, and it's just me playing because I don't have anybody to play with. And it was, you know, I do more narrative stuff anyway, and I did all the competitive stuff back in the day, and with everything I see, I mean, I follow the competitive scene just out of curiosity, but my gosh, dude, I mean, some of the stuff that people are willing to do to cheat, the things that people are willing to defend the cheater over. Like, I saw a comment today, this was an old Tactical Tortoise video, where a guy had cheated and then he was banned for 2 years from one agency, banned for 1 year from a different agency, if I have that correct, and then those agencies combined, and then he, you know, was effectively banned altogether to never come back. He came back anyway, and I guess, you know, they kicked him out or whatever, but that wasn't where I was going with this. Where I was going with this was somebody made a comment about they're tired of the multiple chances, and a guy goes, so a person learns that cheating is wrong in a 40k tournament, you know, after getting caught, and you want to turn around and ban them for life? What do you mean learned in a 40k tournament? You didn't learn cheating was wrong when you were a kid? I'm working on an old metal Morgan Raw. Ooh, I have that model and the new plastic one. I don't know if I have that one, Francois. I have to look. That's, if there's one army or two armies in general that I don't remember everything that I have for them, it's Eldar and Dark Eldar. I got a bunch of it, I just don't remember what it all is. Jonathan says, last time I played 40k was in those days, played a couple rounds of Kill Team. I love the co-op mode. Gives me ideas of doing a super narrative campaign. Hell yeah. Well, this 3D printer that my wife got me for an early birthday present has reinvigorated the hobby something fierce. And the amount of stuff that I was hoarding, thinking I was going to eventually build all these things, has been thrown out because I don't need to do it. I can literally print it, whatever it is that I need, or combine things and make my own stuff like I'm doing right now. And I'm working on a battlefield. If you can picture this, well, if you go on my Twitter, you'll see pictures of the draft as I'm building it. But from the tabletop to the top of the first overpass is 20 inches, so that a Warhound Titan can fit underneath it, no problem. Potentially a Reaver, but I'm not sure yet. And then there'll be a second overpass even taller than that, up to 27, 28 inches. And then the buildings will be somewhere between 3 and 4 feet tall, and all of it will be playable. I have rules for all of it. Of course, a lot of it's like, old city fight rules, if you remember those. But I'm not into the 6 turns game either. Like, just kind of defeats the purpose for me. But I get it, if you're trying to get games in and competitive stuff as well. I hear that my buddy gave me his since he had a kid and didn't have time to figure it out, and it kind of went out of control. Yeah, I've had 2 kids, but I said this a long time ago in one of my videos when I first started doing streaming, that there was a time where, before I met my current wife, that I considered selling all my stuff and getting out of the hobby because I thought that it was holding me back from finding the right person and having a family and all that. And I started selling stuff off, and then I realized I'm being stupid. The right person will come along or they won't. This hobby gives me enjoyment, and it should not be weighed on whether or not I have somebody in my life, because if they're not there, the hobby will be. And when I met my current wife, one of my first goals was to show her this hobby. Now, mind you, she had no concept of it at all, had never heard of it. Most of the stuff was still in boxes and in the attic space, so it was hard to even get a real good idea. And now I've got 15, I think it's, 13 or 15, I can't remember, IKEA Detolfs full. And when I say full from putting stuff together, it's because I've gone to the local hardware store, got acrylic sheets to make extra shelves, acrylic sheets and cable clamps. So basically in each space, and I don't believe they sell that thing anymore, but which is unfortunate, but basically in each segment, there were 4 segments, you can put 2 more shelves. So you can fit a ton of space or models, Space Marines or whatever. Would you say I have all those books? They're great. Maybe you're talking about the Kill Team. Oh no, you're talking about City Fight and stuff. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I lost train of what I was talking about. I honestly did not think I was going to get this done tonight. I thought it was going to take a ton longer. I am stoked right now, because then all I got to do is finish stripping the Grey Knights and clean them up, and then I can start painting. What the hell happened there? Yeah, dude, I have so many books, man. I don't even, you know, without trying to hate on GW too much here, I don't understand the direction that they decided to go. I mean, I say I don't understand. I know that a lot of it caters, if not most of it, to the competitive scene. But they have to know, I mean, this has been going on for decades, man, that a lot of those guys, and I'm not hating on them, okay, just to be clear, but a lot of those guys don't buy new models. They'll buy used stuff off of eBay or whatever, or used armies, you know, and then just, you know, do it. So they're not getting the full payout, if that makes sense. Yep, Death from Above. Yeah, I got all those. Dude, I have, let me put it this way. This new edition will be the first edition I will not buy. And I'm not buying it because, one, I don't need any more orcs. I've got an extra set of Redemptor Dreadnought legs that I can turn into that one thing that's about the coolest thing in there I can think of. I forget what it's called. It's like a DACA Walker or something. I don't know. But don't quote me on that. But then the Space Marines are very lackluster. And I don't like that there's not a hardcover book with everything all in it. I get it. Some people don't want that. They want the, you know, the small book. I was really disappointed when those came out in the other earlier editions. But, you know, and then the thing I think that really irritates me is I'm all about the lore, right? Well, you're gonna basically paywall the lore about this new Armageddon battle or war, sorry, behind buying this box set, because according to GW, from everything I saw, they are not planning that's going to be the only way you can get that book, and that is ridiculous. What you did was you ensured that your box would sell because of that. Genius, but in my opinion, not fair to your loyal customers that clearly you don't care about, because we are not the audience. Yeah, I was only interested in the vets with jump packs, not about to shell out 300 bones for just... No, absolutely not. And I know a lot of people say, you know, 3D printing is not going to replace GW or whatever. They may be right, but I'm going to tell you right now, anyone who says that they're not sitting there thinking, I mean, dude, there's Telegram groups and everything else out there that Games Workshop has people they've hired to go seek this stuff out to get it removed. They are definitely afraid. Some of these scans are amazing. It's not like, you know, something stupid you got to worry about downloading. And you can, in a very short time, take up all of your hard drive space with STL files. Ask me how I know. And I mean, even the veteran jump pack guys, why do they look so plain to me? There's definitely not enough bling or whatever on them. I'm definitely going too deep with this. I'm getting lazy. There you are. GW corporate, nothing is canon. The only lore is printed before 2016. Yeah. Oh, I get that. I got like 300 gigabytes of Warhammer stuff. Also, Alt Scups pipe makers has some really cool looking Eldar. I hear you. Man, I'm gonna do either a stream or a video on it, but I don't know if you guys remember or seen them, and I apologize because I mean it's my fault. I haven't been here in years, but so I don't know how long ago you guys subscribed or whatever, except for Jonathan just I guess being new here tonight. But I have two giant what would you call them, proxy warlords, Lucius pattern. They're from, I don't think they're in business anymore, I can't remember, but the Titan Manufactorum in Greece, or at least that's where mine came from. I got them back in 2013, two of them with all their foam weapons and stuff, which I didn't realize were foam, but whatever, lesson learned, for $1,300. And I mean, they're literally 25 inches tall. Are they 18 inches wide, I think? And then I forget how deep, maybe 12 inches deep. But they're really, you know, unique models. Matter of fact, didn't think about it. Here's one of the heads. Okay. Now, since I got the 3D printer, I have literally replaced the heads. I took if you know the Imperial Knight, the Warden version, I love that helmet or head. So I took that, blew it up, and made that for my Lucius pattern Titans. And then I made weapons for them. All the weapons. Get this. Oh wait, hold on. More. Jonathan says more robotic, kind of, but I headcanon them all as Wraith constructs. Yeah. But anyway, I made all the gun arms for the two Warlord Titans. If I have this correct, a Warlord Titan's arm, a single arm, is $185. I printed each one of those for less than $4. That includes the electricity and all that. Less than $4. And I magnetized them so that I can switch it out or whatever. Then, because I realized the potential of this 3D printer and that I wasn't too old to figure this stuff out, I decided to rip one of these Titans apart. And I did. I pulled pieces off. They were resin FDM plates. I pulled them off, and then I cut into the back through the top, and then I cut the back out, and I magnetized the back and all this stuff. And now it has an actual interior in it. I posted pictures also on Twitter as well. It's been a while, but I need to put this stuff up on my Instagram where I don't have all the stupid politics crap that I get roped into here and there. Yeah, I mean, it's freaking awesome, man. I mean, I have an actual Titan with an interior now, and while I can probably print, and I will print the GW version of a Warlord, because it's round and everything, I don't think I'd be able to pull off what I did. Like when you look in, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me see. I don't know. Yeah, I could put it up on this, I think. Yeah, hold on. Let me add a thing here. I forgot. I apologize, guys. It's been so long since I've done this. Let's see. I'm over here telling you when I can actually show you. Freaking dumb. Okay, where are you? Are any of you guys on my Discord? Because it's definitely on there. You You can look under thousands of minis. And you can actually see the whole process instead of, you know, all in one place. Yeah, I guess it's not there. Hold on. Thousands of mini assembly. Oh, and you can see a draft of the urban battlefield. Here, let me just do this. Save image. Yeah, I can put all these up. Oh, that's a good picture there. I'll show you the scale of it. Even the Titan heads have where you can pull it off and see the crew on the inside. None of that existed before. Hold on. There we go. All right. Browse. Yeah, I have a Discord. Angry Badger Minis. Let me see. I'm not that great with it, but if you can tell me how to get an invite link real quick, I'll put it in here. But I think my Discord is in the description, but I don't know if it works anymore. Who knows? This is the overall Titan. Hold on. Where are you? Fit to screen. There you go. So there's the overall Titan after I did a lot of work. Those guns are 3D printed. The head is 3D printed. The landing pad is 3D printed. The Corvus Black Star on top is 3D printed. Hold on, I need to blow that up because I can't even tell myself. You can see there's a power claw back there, a bunch of other stuff. And of course I did this for both of the Titans. Let's see. Let me figure out how to get you guys a link to this. That's usually where I'm hanging out anyway. Oh, here we go. There's the damn link. Now let me get back to the chat thing. Oh, here we go. Here you go. This is the link, invite link. Let me know if that doesn't work. Whoops. Just lost my OBS. What the hell happened? Okay. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to painting these Grey Knights. I don't know if I'm looking forward to painting the newer Grey Knights, but definitely these old ones. Did the Discord work, guys? Cool. You'll want to go to Thousands of Minis Assembly, and if you start at well, I mean, you can go all the way up to where I started printing off Horus Heresy tanks when I first got my 3D printer. I mean, there's tons of stuff there, dude, that I've done. But for the Titans themselves, they start at April 27th of this year, so not long ago. Not as a bragging point, but I know I've got well over 10,000 miniatures, and there's a problem. Cool, everybody got in. Yeah, well, there's 2 of them. I don't know that I'm gonna do the interior of the second one. It was quite a project, but that being said, the hard work is done, like the planning and the designing and all that. When you get to the interior portion, it's kind of like being in a battleship in a way, with the way the auto loader system is. And then the overhead crane actually works, and the whole idea is that you have the ability. It's not just a diorama or to look inside; it's also to be able to fight in there. Because in my mind, you know, if you were, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a graphic novel set called Titan from Warhammer Monthly, and there was a point where they had to fend off chaos attackers that got on board, and they actually took control of Dictatio, the Warlord Titan, until Dictatio decided to fry the mind of the one chaos guy that took over. They're really old, but I have them actually. They were kind of my inspiration for this whole thing. And I'm writing my own lore background as to how these guys exist because of the sad ending of Dictatio and his Titan battle group. I don't agree with Discord's user agreement. Yeah, I know. Do you have the STL for the Armor Cast Phantom Titan? Ooh, I do not. I would love to have that though. I definitely don't have that. That would be awesome to have. Yeah, I don't like what Discord did either, but they did back off some. I think they stood to lose a lot of stuff, a lot of people. I was a Nitro user for a while. When that happened, I completely got off of it. And then they had a whole whatever PR thing about, oh, we're not trying to do this, we're not trying to do that. Sure, whatever, man. I'm all about sharing STLs though, especially since a lot of these places I go on Telegram keep getting nuked. And you know how they usually get nuked? It's not because GW finds them. It's because you'll get idiots in there, probably young guys, whatever, that become mods or something like that of the channel, and they get the superiority complex, and then when they're called out on it, they want to ban you, but then you go to the actual people who created the channel, and then they turn around and ban them, and then those guys just rat the channel out. If you find it, I'll pay you to print one for me. Yeah, I will definitely try to find it for you. The worst problem is that, I don't know, I guess most of the STL files out there now are new stuff, and people don't want the old stuff for whatever reason. I think the old stuff's cool as hell. I still have an old Armor Cast Baneblade. And I used to have an Armor Cast Hero Specs until my ex-wife ruined it. But, you know, that's how that goes. But I'll tell you what, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look for it for sure. I don't know how I'll reach you other than through Discord. Really, it's like the best way. Oh, I'm so happy I'm gonna be done with this tonight. As much as I'm loving this project, I was dreading doing this part, even though I know how it's gonna look great. Maybe I'm just getting old. That's probably what it is. Like, I don't even have like a desire to buy anything anymore. I mean, I would like to have that new defiler. It looks really awesome, but they already have it out there as an STL. You can get it. People are already printing them. Oh, here's something for you guys. You're gonna love this. So I tried to hit up a gaming store that's like about 2 hours away to see if I could find somebody to play with, or at least play a game. The first question I was asked in their Discord was, "What army do you play?" And I said, "Well, I'll be bringing a painted Space Marine army because while I don't care if the other person has painted models, I like to play with that army. I've had it since 2003. It's, it doesn't change. It's a great army, whatever." And they said 2003. And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "So it's firstborn?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "You can't play here." I said, "What?" And they said, nobody plays a firstborn. We all play Primaris." And everybody in that chat at that time was like, "Yes, Primaris, whatever, no firstborn, blah blah blah." And I was like, "You got to be kidding me, dude. That's where the hobby's gone now." I can't. So yeah, we have elitists in the hobby, clearly. I collect armor cast. I have a real Phantom and a recast. Would love a printed one. In fact, I just got my second real Tempest the other. Ooh, wow. I bought the New Guard box with the new tanks, but that's the first thing I've acquired in a while. I hear you. I'm trying to figure out a schedule for being on here, because I know that's kind of like how everybody likes it. It's just kind of hard, homeschooling kids and stuff and being able to do that. Also, I thought about doing it during the day, but I figured you guys may not want to hear my kids running around screaming while they're having fun. You have to come here to play APOC. Nothing is Legends. Yeah. Where's that? France? I have a real table and an 8x4 to play on. Yeah, I have a 4x6 with a fold out for another 2 feet to do the same. Where are you located, Francois? I'm assuming France, but I don't know. Could just be your moniker. No, I'm a free man. I'm an American. Oh, really? There you go. Where are you at in America? Hopefully you have guns. It's kind of a requirement. Roughly the Bible Belt Tornado Alley adjacent, so near Oklahoma. Alright, Jonathan, I appreciate you stopping by. I hear you. Hope to see you again, brother. Damn, you guys live near each other. That's cool. I'm in Virginia. And it's going to hell in a handbasket. But they are building a Warhammer world here, apparently. I can neither confirm nor deny, but I am a U.S. Army Air Assault Infantry Forward Observer retired. I am a retired Force Reconnaissance Marine and Marine Scout Sniper. I would say I can neither confirm or deny, but unfortunately I'm all over the damn internet thanks to the Marine Corps. Oh, and thanks to my stupid county here. Air assault smells like Kentucky area. That's funny. Smells. Listen to this guy. A good friend of mine on Discord is a retired Army First Sergeant tanker. And he went to Ranger School. Yeah, it's a ways away. But I'll supply the pizza and beer. I actually need to get my butt out to Kentucky because I really, well, he was my best friend. That's where he's buried. That didn't make it back. and right in Lexington. Coincidentally, I'm in Lexington, Virginia. And I'm not worried about anybody finding me because our business is listed online and everything else. I'd be the wrong person to come try to stalk. It would be really bad for them. Oh, what the heck? That's some static going on there. It's okay, I was one of those bubbleheads. I got a good buddy of mine in Oklahoma. I wish we would have served together in combat, but we didn't. We met each other as I was getting out. He would have been a hell of an NCO to have with me. Bring 10,000 points with you when you visit your buddy. You can stop here after and we can have a go. We'll be there for forever. But I might take you up on that. It's not like I don't have 10,000 points. They may not all be painted though, I'm just saying. Of course I could bring the Titans. I mean, they're not painted either, but hopefully soon here in the next month or so. At least one of them. Oh shit, I forgot to see. Oh, Gallus is still here. Playing Final Fantasy 14. He is in France. I have Titans to match, one super heavy per 2k points. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, dude. I'd probably have to just bring whatever and at this point have you help me figure everything out. Like, I didn't even bother with 9th and 10th edition rules. I just haven't played in so long. And that one little battle report I have with Necrons and Salamanders, all that is like modified 3rd edition rules. Just very disappointed in how everything went. And if you look at 11th edition, there are quite a few elements of 3rd edition in there. I don't know that I'm going to get involved in it, but who knows. Although there was a video, I forget the guy's name. I have it on my Discord. But the guy said that basically Games Workshop lied about the narrative play in the rules. That there's not really anything in there. So that kind of sucks. I think it's on my general chat. Tenth edition rules, nothing is legends. Most recent printing of any given data sheet, 1 super heavy per 2K. We can play up to 65,000 per side, but 10K has got to be the minimum. Yeah, no, that's I can. I don't know. Is it wrong that I can say I can do that? I almost feel like I'm some kind of rich freaking weirdo that I'm not. Oh yeah, man, no problem. I can do that. I got 10K right here in my back pocket. 4 more to go. Do you have a big gaming group there? Yeah, with 2 warlords. I've got, so, I mean, again, those aren't Games Workshop models. I don't know if that matters to you. But I've got 2 warlords. I've got a 3D printed Warhound, a recast Lucius pattern Warhound, and then I actually have a video on my YouTube channel about this guy, where I was repurposing making a Nurgle Warhound. I have that, and then I have an Eldar, not the big giant Phantom one, but one of the smaller Titans. And I'm not talking about a Wraith Knight. I have tons of those. I think it's what is it called? I think it's a Phantom, but it's not the big one. Like, it's a smaller one. And then I've got all kinds of freaking knights, Imperial Knights, and Baneblade. I have 3 Baneblades, 2 of the new ones, 1 armor cast. I think I have 50. Wait, hold on. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think I have 19 Imperial Knights. It's ridiculous. I definitely need help. Honestly, I got all those knights because of that Renegade box set, if you remember that back in the day. where you could get 2 nights in the box for like 120 bucks. Maybe it's a Revenant. Yeah, it might be a Revenant. It's almost twice as tall as a Wraith Lord, or I'm sorry, Wraith Knight. Yeah, one guy, I've gotten him to get 5k in Necro. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I've got a Obelisk and 4 Monoliths. And then I've got my custom Necron Titan that my wife and I made together. It's as big as our cat. This is a poor area I retired to. Skirmish games like Blood Bowl are all anyone else plays really within 100 miles. Yeah, dude, I'm in a college town here. I mean, again, VMI and WNL. And you would think that there was a lot of money here, but it's not. The kids have no money. There's a game store in town, but they only play Magic and D&D. They've got a very small Warhammer section. And I even offered them to bring stuff in, and they just said, no, that's okay. And it's not for any other reason than politics. Because I don't look like them, I don't act like them. I'm not talking about politics, but they already know I'm not them. And they just don't want me, want that in there. So, it's pretty sad how everything gets ruined because of that garbage. I mean, the last real game I played was, the guy was a younger guy, Navy, and he was a complete ass. I mean, absolute ass. He had bought a Space Wolves army off of eBay that was all meta and whatnot, and I just had my 2003 army, and all his stuff was Primaris, none of mine was. I was kicking the crap out of him, and there was a point where he had the space. I have one, I just can never remember what the hell it's called. I've never played with it. The Space Wolf flyer, the one that's strictly for the Space Wolves. Longfang maybe or something. Anyway, he had one of those, and for 2 turns, I didn't know anything about flyers, and for 2 turns, this thing didn't do anything. Like, it came on the table in turn 2. He didn't do anything with it. Turn 3, he didn't do anything with it. Turn 4, I'm obliterating his army, and he goes, "Oh, I forgot to shoot with it back at turn 2 and 3. Do you mind if I shoot with it now for those 2 turns?" And I'm like, "Well, no, that's not fair." And he immediately got angry, and I just stuck my hand out, good game, dude. And he was like basically almost like slapped my hand away. He didn't do it, but he almost did. And it was like, yeah, man, whatever. And I've never been back. It's just not worth it, man. That's why I don't go to local game stores they play the skirmish games at. Yeah. Do you play any video games like Space Marine 2 or anything? Or do you play 40K on Tabletop Simulator? Or RPG games? I'm trying to put together a new Death Watch RPG. I had a really good one that's on the YouTube channel stuff, but all my stuff got wiped when, I guess, Tabletop Simulator did some kind of update a long time ago. I have nearly every GW video game, but no tabletop simulator. I do a live every Tuesday and Thursday for Dark Tide on my other channel. Well, hold on. I gotta find you, man. I gotta find your channel. Can you throw a link in? Or all your channels, whatever. Okay, why can't I? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Like, what are your channel's names? This thing doesn't really show me anything. Okay. Two more. Okay. I looked that up. Why am I not finding it? I don't know why I can't find it. There's somebody else, like, hold on, let me see here. Oh, okay. Got it. You're a fox, I'm a badger. That's crazy. Subscribed and hit the bell. Shit, yeah. All right, let's get these done. I'd have to come play with you and then find a way to stream it. That'd be cool. Stream getting my ass kicked. Is the other guy, is he a veteran too, or what? I want to make a Orc Gargant. And I do have a Tyranid Bio-Titan. I forgot about that. The Hierophant. It's a recast. But I want to make... There's a... what's it called? I don't know. Maybe it's just Alien Queen or something that somebody made. I got the STL file for Starforge, maybe? Anyway, I want to print that thing as big as my... my Warlord Titans. Just one of them. My wife's like, where are you going to put this? No idea. I don't worry about such things. Local kid you met when you moved here. Okay. Shit. So what's he got for 5K in Necrons? Out of curiosity. Damn it. You son of a bitch. Holy shit, I must have cut a hell of a lot. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What? Yeah, you cut one more. Okay. I'll just fucking put it on here, I don't care. Last one. Trying to debate on if I'm going to buy this new remake of Halo Combat Evolved again. Don't know if I'm wanting to do it or not. Keep changing my games. Dead Space got changed. Freaking. Last two times it was 4 Catan, 2 Warrior Blobs, Max Race Squad, Doomsday Ark, some Artillery Walkers, Annihilation Barge, Tomb Blade, Tomb Stalker, Big Blob of Destroyers, Blob of Scorpic Destroyers. It's a very competitive 5KO and a Monolith. Sounds like he wants to win. Holy crap, we did it. Awesome. Pour this back in there. Yep, that's going to be a lot of painting to do. But it's going to look amazing when it's done. It's okay, I bring the heat. What would he do if he saw 2 warlords sitting there? I don't know. From what I understand, they're not even that strong anymore. I haven't really looked at the rules. So let's see. Oh wow, man. I like your Eldar Tempest, man. I've never actually seen one in person. Well, you're doing something that I am not doing, which is putting a base for the Titans, but I could see why, especially with that being armor cast. Because, like, for me, I want my Titan to be able, or Titans to be able to walk through everything, and the base is going to get in the way. But oh, look at that Prometheus. That's pretty cool. How to hold your hobby knife instructional? What? Raven Wing infiltrators, hell yeah. Well, I bought a Ceratec heavy construct. I'm gonna print one of those out, and a Proxon so he could make a bunch. I'm waiting for him to get 10K before I put 2 Phantoms on the board. Interesting. Well, it is. Hold on, what do you got here? Currently, I'm throwing 2 Tempest Scorpions and 3 Wraith Knights at him. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, if he doesn't know all the stuff you have, I guess he'll have to keep adapting. But you know, like back in the old days when we didn't have much, everybody knew everybody's army pretty quick. Then it just came down to tactics, which, in a way, I think is missing in the game. Oh boy. Well, it is 1 in the morning here, so I think I'm gonna call it. This was a good stream to get back in, and I'm glad I met you guys, and I'm hoping to do this every day just because I want to keep painting and working on my stuff. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I've got one of my 3D print, or the 3D print thing that I'm printing right now will be done, and then I'll have one more major piece and a couple of smaller pieces for that one thing. Maybe I'll take a picture and have it ready, or I'll put it in the Discord or something. But so far, no print failure, so that's good. Really, when I printed that Corvus Blackstar,
the print profile for that was so smooth. So I've been using that print profile the whole time. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna call the stream. Thanks for everybody. Great meeting new folks such as Francois. Maybe you guys should go over and check out Foxhole Gaming, right? Hold on, I'm looking for it. Foxhole Games. Check out Foxhole Games and sub to him as well. And I will catch everybody next time. Take it easy.